2020 is coming soon, and with it, another new month of games. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Gameranx, the top 7 new games of January 2020. Starting off at number 7, it's Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners, which is a VR FPS, apparently over 15 hours long, and genuinely requires a VR headset, so don't expect to play it unless you've got VR. Honestly, the game looks pretty cool. It does a good job of establishing an atmosphere. It looks like Walking Dead. Obviously, I haven't played it yet. We're a little ways out from it being available to do so. But looking at it, I'm pretty optimistic that it will at least give you something. The trailers have done a good job of sort of showing off this detailed world of zombies being killed, being alive, having resources. You end up finding a zombie, pilfering their backpacks, things like that. The game is set in New Orleans, and we don't honestly get enough apocalyptic content set in New Orleans. That's such a great place to even try. We haven't really seen anybody give that a go, the apocalypse, but in New Orleans. And it looks like you'll be getting an axe, which is probably a lot of fun to use in VR against zombies. I got my fingers crossed. Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners is hitting on January 23rd on PC. Moving on to number 6, it's Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which I am really excited to be seeing, because this is a game I used to play on the GameCube. I love it. It's fun as hell. It's a 4-player Final Fantasy action RPG that required a really extensive setup of 4 Game Boy Advances in order to play 4-player, link cables and all. Obviously, that's an unlikely thing to have just lying around at the moment, and it's also dated, so the resolution is kind of bad. So getting a remaster is something I'm actually really excited about. I mean, this is one of those really great co-op, kind of hack and slash, kind of Final Fantasy light style games that there was never enough of at any point, because it wasn't just something that Final Fantasy did. We're talking about what's basically a type of game that we just never really saw a lot of, but it's particularly exciting because this is the one that had co-op. And not only did it have co-op, but it had a great story. Was it the most complex of the Final Fantasies? Absolutely not, but it was certainly fun, enjoyable, intriguing. I mean, there were ultimately a few more Crystal Chronicles games, but this was really the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles as far as I'm concerned. And I'm really excited to get back to it because it's just a fun game. I also think that people who are thinking of making games should pay attention to Crystal Chronicles. It just does a lot of stuff that sets it apart. And I think to reintroduce it at a time when it will actually be appreciated, it's great. The remaster of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles will be hitting Nintendo Switch, PS4, iOS, and Android on January 23rd. Coming in at number 5 is Monster Hunter World Iceborne, which was a long-awaited and well-received expansion, which debuted back in September on consoles. It's hitting PC now. I mean, we've been talking about this one for a while. I've checked in on it more than a couple of times here in videos. I mean, this is a $50 expansion to the game. It's a very big expansion, which isn't just going to be expanding where you're hunting. I mean, there is a very big new locale, which is nice and densely packed if you've looked around. Monster Hunter World, of course, was already pretty dense, but there's a lot more to see now. But there's also a lot of hunting mechanic overhaul going on, and that's also great. For the most part, when you get an expansion and it's just a few new maps, it's not enough for me, especially at that price tag. But in a lot of ways, it works almost as a sequel to Monster Hunter World. There's a lot of new content. It updates pretty much every aspect of the game, and I'm pretty excited for that on account, hey, it's Monster Hunter. The new locale just looks really cool. All the snow that you can see, it just looks big and in some ways scary. You have these huge fur-covered monsters with massive horns, and it's just really cool to see. I'm super excited for PC people to get Monster Hunter World Iceborne. It hits January 9th. Moving on to number 4, Journey to the Savage Planet is a co-op adventure game, which is just overloaded in color. It's a very bright, very bold looking game. In a lot of ways, it looks like a survival game. You might even mistake it for that, but no. This game is oriented very much towards the adventure elements of it, where your goal is to figure out if a planet that you've landed on is suitable for human habitation. I like that this is not really a typical goal you have in a game. Normally, when you have especially games with dialogue in them. There's a clear bad guy, there's a clear thing to beat, a win condition, but that's not really what we're looking at in this game, and gives us a sort of free-form storytelling, or at least promises that it will, that I'm pretty interested in seeing how it plays out. It's also apparently not really a hand-holdy game, so in my opinion, the fact that it's a co-op and that combined is a good sign, because it seems like it's designed to get some friends to play a game together and learn, explore, make things happen. These sound like good ideas to me. I'm definitely going to be playing Journey to the Savage Planet when it hits PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on January 28th. And at number 3 is Moons of Madness, a cosmic horror game, a first-person narrative, where the setting of Mars and the terrifying tentacle doom that is H.P. Lovecraft stories combine to create something that will undermine your sense of reality the longer you play it. Now, it's been out on PC for a little while now, and it's going to be hitting consoles. Now, let me just go ahead and say the trailer itself is genuinely very creepy, and you really don't know what is real. There was an intelligent signal that people followed to Mars, and upon landing, basically, things start going badly. For anybody who's played the PC version of the game, it is one that will definitely get you in multiple ways, and you will dream about it. It's that kind of a game. It's very otherworldly and strange. It does not pull punches. And personally, I think that experiencing it on a TV instead of a computer monitor is probably the better way. I don't know if it's going to look as good as it does on PC. It's actually beautiful on PC. We'll see. I think it's a game you gotta try out if you're even vaguely interested in cosmic horror, especially one set in a different, maybe non-standard location. We get a lot of Earth-based cosmic horror, but not a lot of Mars-based. Moons of Madness is hitting PlayStation 4 and Xbox One January 21st. At number 2 is Kingdom Hearts 3's Remind DLC. I'm not going to pretend that I am following the story anymore at this point. I don't play Kingdom Hearts to understand what's going on. I've played them all, and I'm much more confused than I think if I hadn't played them all. That being said, I am aching for more. I'm always aching for more. They just flat out always get Kingdom Hearts right, gameplay-wise at very least. Remind is intended to be the quote-unquote other tale that unfolded during the climax of Kingdom Hearts 3. It sees Sora traveling to the Keyblade graveyard and will be putting us into the presence of several Final Fantasy characters, including Aerith, Yuffie, and even Leon. It's almost impossible to give a lot of context to the story, but as far as gameplay goes, Kingdom Hearts 3 was a powerhouse. Graphically, it's beautiful as well, giving us a ton of different styles and a more detailed look at the universe than we've ever seen before. I'm excited. I want more Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 3, the Remind DLC, is coming to the PS4 on January 23rd. And finally, at number 1 is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. This is an action RPG and a retelling of the Dragon Ball franchise, and promises to give us a lot of the epic battles and less exciting moments, like fishing and training, given to us in perhaps the coolest looking version of the 3D Dragon Ball style that they've given thus far. It is going to be a pretty detailed game with a nice, expansive world. I think that it seems to get what it wants to be, possibly better than the other times they've tried to do this exact same thing, and I'm personally quite excited to play it. Honestly, the Dragon Ball games have been on a roll regardless of genre the last few, so I expect it to be good. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is hitting PC, PS4, and Xbox One January 17th. A quick bonus game for you is Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, which is a direct sequel to the original Pillars of Eternity. It came out on PC back in May 2018. It's been a long time coming for consoles, but it is in every way a big upgrade to the first game, a lot more story told, and really an enjoyable experience. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on January 28th. And a quick bonus game for you, Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is of course a remastered version of Warcraft 3. It also includes the expansion, The Frozen Throne, but the game itself has also undergone a lot of rebalancing, especially in the multiplayer arena. And hey, that's not always a bad thing. Some of these older games weren't balanced very well. and Warcraft 3 is frankly a classic. I'll definitely be giving Warcraft 3 Reforged a spin when it hits PC and Mac on January 28th next year. What are you playing in January 2020? It's a new year. I know you got something up your sleeve. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero, and we'll see you next time right here on Gameranx.